Yes, mate. I wanted to do a video on essential upgrades for Maserati Granturismo. If you probably found this video, you might already have one. I think they're one of the greatest cars in the world. I'm going to do a review on this one. I've had it for 2 years. I love it to bits. They were quite universally panned when he first came out. A lot of that I don't agree with. I'll go into that with another video, and give me a subscribe. You can watch that and disagree with me if you like. But the one thing I do agree with is the infotainment on this car, which is terrible to say the least. It really let it down. It was dated when it first came out in 2007, I think, and they just kept running with it. It comes with a Bose sound system, but because the head unit's made by Fisher Price or someone like that, it just is never sounded right. I got another video where I upgraded the system. I put an aftermarket sub and amp in it. Again, go and check my channel for that. But I still wasn't happy with it. So I thought I'd do a quick video on this. To me is an essential upgrade. If you've got this car, you need to upgrade the sound system on it. The head unit is just, it's awful. Any owner will tell you. It's so dated, it's ancient. But there are loads of options you can do to improve the infotainment on it. Relatively cheaply as well. It used to be quite an expensive upgrade. A lot of people were scared. You have to go to a kind of a professional outfit and pay through the nose for it, which still a lot of people do. Then on the other end of things, people buy stuff off AliExpress, save themselves a fortune, but then don't have the support or get confused with fitting it, which isn't a hard job, but unless you know what you're doing, you know, you're not going to have much luck with it. So the kind of the midpoint of that, and the best thing I would recommend, is getting a company from China. You can order it mail order, fit it yourself, but at least you've got kind of comeback. You've got warranty, you've got like technical support, how to fit it. Any questions like that they can answer. I went and did a load of research. I've been putting off this mod for, as I say, about 2 years. It was one of the first things I wanted to do to this car. The essential upgrades, in my opinion, on this car is to fit wheel spacers. I fitted wheel spacers. Go and check my other videos for that. I think that's an essential upgrade. It makes the car look a lot better, handle a lot better, and is a relatively cheap mod to do. The head unit, again, that's an essential upgrade. I've been putting it off because it took me a bit of research, really. I'm always fussy with things like this. I like to do a lot of research, make sure I'm happy with what exactly I'm installing, but this is effectively what I put in it. If you can have a look at that, it's a lot better. It brings it up to 2025 standards. There's everything on this car system. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. It's got anything you want to put on it. Backup camera. You can put a front camera on it. The sound alone, just from changing the system, is a huge benefit. I'm going to go into a bit of detail in this video to kind of show you the features of it, how to install it, where to buy from, things like that. I found a good company. There's a number of other companies that do it. Some well-known, again, all out of China. I managed to find one company after doing loads of research that I was very happy with, a company called Drimatt. They're cheaper than a lot of the other ones, and the reviews they get are really, really good. Technical support, I've used them a few times when fitting this, just to kind of test them, and I was over the moon with them. So if you're watching this video and you want to upgrade your infotainment, they're certainly the company that I'd recommend going for. So yeah, let me kind of show you the features of it, and hopefully it's something you want to do to your car. Okay, this is what it looks like in the car. You get two parts. You get an Android screen, and you also get a digital climate control LCD screen. The video, I've had to put a cover on my car because it shows, for some reason, when I'm taking this video, the reflections, but the reflections in real life aren't that bad, so hope you can see it. But effectively you get two parts for it. You get an Android screen, which is it's an Android based system, but it also runs CarPlay, and it also runs Android Auto, which I guess is what most people are going to be using most of the time. And of course you also get the digital climate control, which has all the same functions as your previous one, but is, you know, digital, looks a lot better. And I think they pair really good. The way it looks in this car compared to it, I'll show you a bit in the video what it looks like before. It's chalk and cheese. So this is, it all comes preloaded. So when you buy from Drimatt, They come with all the background logos, the boot up logos, everything like that. It's all tailored to your car. You don't have to go online and start like looking at files to make sure your steering wheel buttons work. Your dash is integrated, you know, with things like, you know, your trip computer, things like that. It's all set up ready for you, which I think is superb. That's not what you get on places like AliExpress and things like that. It's kind of, here you go, good luck. But when using it, it kind of can be like Drimatt. They help you with all sorts of stuff like this. So this is kind of the main screen you get when you first turn it on. I've turned it in airplane mode because for some reason, if I don't put it onto airplane mode, because it links to my phone, you won't be able to hear me. So it's on airplane mode. But you've got YouTube, you've got like vehicle settings where you can, you know, change all things like you know, whether your oil mileage or your trip computer, everything like that, your service intervals. It's got all of that kind of stuff, all the basic stuff that you've got on your car, which you'd normally do through your previous factory unit. That's all inbuilt, ready to go for it. You can, you know, I think there's even more things on here like independent unlock and a driving door. I can't remember seeing that on the factory unit, but it's got all the functions on it. You can change from miles to kilometers, things like that. You've got a radio on here if you want to use that. Just an FM radio. You've also got like the settings, which I guess is like the desktop settings if you want to put quick start things. The functionality on it's amazing. If you're more technically minded than me, you can go absolutely wild with this and put whatever you want on it. You've got a large amount of settings on here, everything from which is more than what you get on a factory unit. You get things like subwoofer out, things like that. So I've linked up my rear subwoofer, my aftermarket subwoofer, and you've got all the system settings for that. You've got you know, your Wi-Fi connections on it, so you know you can link it to your phone and hotspot your phone and use this system through that. That's separate to CarPlay. You can run CarPlay alone separate on that, which I think, as I say, most people are going to use that. That's what I've been tending to use is a CarPlay on it, but to have this functionality as well is really good. Yeah, you've got all the settings there. I won't bore you with all those details, but you can put whatever apps you want on here. So you can put a front camera if you want. I haven't put a front camera on it, but if you want to put front camera, they've got the functionality for that. It's got steering wheel controls if you want to change all your settings on your steering wheel controls. All these buttons do different things. I've got them set up as Drimatt has set them up for me. So it's standard volume, track forward, etc. I think this one goes straight to Google. That's your phone, mute of course, and I think that's your source. Then you can change all your different whether it's FM radio or set whatever apps you kind of want on there. You got a browser on here, weather, file manager, gallery. You got your own music player. I think it's got a 50 gigabyte storage on it. Don't quote me on that. Go and check on the website. But you've got a big storage on it, so if you wanted to, you can preload all your music on here, and you know you don't have to use CarPlay or Spotify or whatever. It's all on there. Yeah, it's got everything on there. You can put TV on there if you want, video player. As I say, anything you can put on a tablet or on a phone, you can now put that into your car, which is great, because anything that you kind of use on a regular basis, you can do it that way. The main thing which I tend to use, and I don't know whether it'll connect at the moment, I don't think it will, is as I say, just because it's on airplane mode. Said sod's law. As soon as I click to AirPlay, it disconnected from AirPlay mode and put me on to AirPlay. But CarPlay. If you've never seen CarPlay, I'll put a picture of it in the thumbnail, so at least you can see what it's like. But there's loads of videos on CarPlay that they'll show you. It's basically your phone simplified onto your dash. And that's what I tend to use. You can put whatever sat nav you want on there. I use Waze, you can use Google Maps, I put Spotify on there, and you've effectively got your phone on your sound system, which is superb. It's all you need, really. This is just way overkill, which I love. To have that functionality, I can put crazy stuff. There's some apps that I want to put on here, some sort of like internet radio stations I can put on there. I would imagine that would go onto CarPlay as well. But you can also do stuff like you know, you can put Netflix on here. If you want to put Netflix, so your kids are in the car and want to watch Netflix, you can do that. You can even download all the maps. So instead of using your phone as sat nav and relying on your data connection, if you're out in a sticks, for instance, and you lose data, you don't know where you are on your phone, but you can download the actual maps onto it, so that you've always got maps on the car. So if you're lost or whatever, you've got no GPS signal or no 4G signal, they're all there. It's all inbuilt, ready for you. Same with music. Put all your music on there. You've also got rear camera on it. If I put that in reverse, hopefully it'll come on. There you go. So you've got rear camera. I've mounted mine on the top. I'll put a bit on the video to show where I've mounted it and why I haven't put it on the back of the car. It's very easy to do if you want to put it on the back of the car, but I find that like 9 times out of 10 just gives me a lot better view than kind of looking through here, which you don't get to see that much. Yeah, there's also equalizer. The sound alone is worth doing this. It's an essential upgrade, in my opinion, on this car, because the sound alone just transforms the system. They've obviously gone to the effort of putting both speakers in this car. You've got a sub on the back shelf. It's got enough speakers in it. It should sound great, but it just doesn't. The original factory system just sounds terrible. But with this system here, it just changes it. Straight away, you put it on, the sound system sounds like a modern system. You've got loads and loads overkill again, which I love, you know, what the options you can put on it. Overkill for what you need. You can set up surround sound, bass enhancement. You've got crossovers, you've got filters, you've got everything that you can do on this car, just all inbuilt, ready for it. So the sound alone makes this upgrade worth doing. If even if you're not a big sound guy, it's still worth doing. But you've also got sat nav, Spotify. The calls through it are great. You know, I can actually use my phone in the car now. I didn't tend to miss it. Normally, if I'm driving this car, the exhaust note, for people who own this car, they know the exhaust note is the most intoxicating part of it. But when you kind of drive modern cars on a day-to-day basis and you do this and someone calls you, it feels like, hang on a minute, I've gone back in time a bit. So to have this functionality on a system for relatively cheap is worth it. I'll show you on the video how to install it. Don't be scared about doing it as a DIY job whatsoever. There's other apps you can put on here as well. If you're crazy, you can put stuff like Talk on here and have like 0 to 60 times, and you know, you can have all your ODB stuff. I'm even going to go as far. I've got an ODB. Let me see if I've got it. I got this ODB reader, Hotel AP200. You can plug this in and do Maserati diagnostics on it. You can install that on here. So I've never seen a car before where you can literally do your own diagnostics, read all your codes, do everything, reset what you want from inside your car, which, as someone who likes to tinker with cars, that functionality is superb. Just to know if you're ever at the side of the road, like, hang on a minute, I've got a service light on here. What can I do? Boom, you're on. Just through the infotainment itself, you can diagnose, clear codes, all of that kind of good stuff. Other thing to factor in, I mean, I can't recommend doing this upgrade as much as possible. Also, Drimatt is the company, as I say, that they're great on it. They give you like 30-day warranty. I think they give you a 1 or 2 year warranty as well. 30-day money back, just 1 or 2 year warranty on it. They give you technical support, all of that stuff. That's kind of where you're putting your money for it as well. Not only is it good value, but that's where you're getting from. But what I'd factor in as well is to sell the factory unit. If you're going to do this upgrade and you think, do I want to spend $1,000 and do this kind of thing, they've got plenty of options on their website for kind of, it depends on how much you want to spend and kind of what your needs are. This was the perfect one. I think it's 10.5 inch. Again, I'll link it to their store in my description, but that kind of suited me. I wanted it to be like an OEM plus look. So a lot of the ones you get kind of Tesla screens, they do those as well. You get a big screen with it all integrated. They do other ones where, you know, they're smaller. This I thought was closest enough to the OEM factory look, but without it kind of being clearly aftermarket. I kind of like to keep my cars as original as possible, and I think especially with things they include like the Maserati badge and kind of the way it looks, this thing here with where obviously these all still work just as standard, but you get a new fascia for this. I think it's great. It looks just right. It doesn't look overkill. It doesn't look bad. But you've got to have to factor in as well. If you don't want to spend all that money, factor in seller in your factory unit. Stick that in on eBay. You'll recoup most of the cost from doing this mod just by selling the factory unit. There's a lot of people that want these units because the old units, because they go sticky buttons. So obviously you've got loads of buttons on the original one. People get sticky buttons and they just say, right, I'll just change it out for one that hasn't. If yours hasn't got sticky buttons, stick it on there. You're going to get a great price for it, offset most of the cost of this. If you have got sticky buttons, by the way, and you're thinking, well, I can't do that, go and check out my other videos. I've got a video on how to remove the sticky like goo off the other of old buttons on Ferraris, Jaguars, Range Rovers, Maseratis. It's all relatively simple, a bit time consuming, but you can do it for next to nothing pretty much, and a bit of elbow grease, and then suddenly then you've got your system good as gold again, and you can sell it and get on with this one. If you got any questions, I'm going to show you an unboxing video first of all. I'm going to show you the install. I'm going to do all that. Any questions, just drop me a message on YouTube. I'm happy to help as much as I can. Again, Drimatt are great. If you go with them, they can answer any technical related questions. I'll try and help if you want, but by all means speak to them. They return things instantly. Give me a like and a subscribe. I do these videos again just to kind of show you what you can do with your cars. I've got plenty of videos on it. Give me a subscribe, give me a like. The more videos that I get up there, I'm hoping it can help. And thanks a lot. Okay, this is what you get in the pack when you get the box through. Nice little branded box. And then the full set all in one piece, which is nice because it's not like you're comparing different manufacturers for different products. They obviously come out the same factory. So you've got the huge screen, which looks sublime already, and then obviously that's the digital climate control. You can order different ones of these, but I ordered two.
just to see which one I prefer. My current car's obviously got that in it, and I thought, well, I'll order the black as well, see if that's any better. And then a whole bunch of cables as well. You've got a backup camera, which is great to be included. Just run that, and then you've got a backup screen on there. Load of different cables. Got 2 USB inputs. You've got all the different ones, which is going to link up to the original system. You've got, I believe these are a Wi-Fi aerial and also a GPS antenna, and everything all in one thing. So yeah, that's what you'll get.
Just to give you a kind of quick overview of what you need to do to fit the system. This is the standard system. As you can see, it's so outdated for this car. It's one of the only negatives about the whole car. But you effectively got to take this off, which can seem intimidating, but it's really not. First step is to take this off. You see a lot of people using kind of like pry tools, things like that. I didn't even need to do that. Just got my kind of finger behind here, pulled it all the way along, and this actually just comes straight off. A nice aluminium piece. I'll put that up there. Then you've got lots of screws. You've got these ones to undo. You're probably best off. I was going to do a full installation video of it, going down to every screw that you got to take out, but there's so many online that it doesn't really need it. I'll try and link one in the description of the best one that I found. You can spend about 45 minutes watching that if you really want, but it's not hard at all. As I say, take these screws out. You're going to have to use the old school stereo unplugger tools to take this bit out, because there's 2 screws in the cage itself there to take it off. This bit as well you need to take off, but again, it's all easy stuff. This thing popped up quite easy. I haven't even got proper pry tools. I'm just using something like this, one of my kids' toys. I just kind of got that in, just twisted it ever so slightly and pulled it off. No damage whatsoever. I'm really fussy with stuff like that. I don't want to see marks like here or here. It ruins the car. I've seen so many cars where installs have been done cheaply, even from professionals, and I'm really fussy with it. I'll take my time, but that came out really easy. There's this thing here which kind of pops off. It was just kind of glued in. I just got my nail underneath it, peeled it up, pulled that off. These ones were slightly harder, but again, I managed to do it with my nail. You just get your nail in there and kind of pull these two cup holder pads off. You got to take the cigarette lighter out. There's screws here. I think it's 6. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's to get, there's screws underneath here to take the bottom screws of this off. So you got, these are the top ones. You've got 2 underneath here, and I believe there's also 1 underneath here where you can pull this down, and then there's another screw in the side there, and in theory then this should all pull off really easy. And that's how you're gonna fit your stereo. Then you take this inside your house, and you can unscrew all of this, take this out, replace them one by one, put it all back in. But I thought I'd give you a kind of a brief overview how quick and easy this is. With Maserati, they are good because people criticize the build quality, but it's simple to work on. It's the same as Ferraris. It's not like Range Rovers and things like that where you just wonder why the hell they kind of designed it that way. It's all pretty much user serviceable. So yeah, you need to take this off to kind of back this off. You're gonna have to put it in neutral, take this off slightly, open the glove box just to get to those other screws. I would probably say that's going to be the hardest bit, but it's a piece of piss to be quite frank. There you go, she's out. Took me just over an hour, but I was working at a very leisurely rate. Went and saw my kids, took a phone call. It's all easy. Again, it's just all these bolts. You've got 4 bolts underneath here. Take that out, drop that down, and then that allows you to, well, that's it actually on there. And you got on the other side, you got 1 tucked up in here. This one was relatively easy. I don't even think you need to do the ones by here. You literally pull this out, and there's 2 there. All the sockets and the plugs were easy to pull out. The only one which was a pain was that one there, which goes to the back of the screen just by there. It's got a clip on the bottom there and the top, but you can hardly get your fingers in. So that's a bit of a tricky one, but it took me about 10 minutes. Yeah, no kind of botch jobs or ripping it out or anything like that. And that's it. She's fully free. And now I'm going to fit the new stereo and the new screen there into it, and it's just a case of reversing it how it was. Yeah, very straightforward. I wouldn't recommend anything. I'd say that any amateur can't do. This is easy. This is just time consuming. Get a couple of beers, take your time doing it. It's not a hard job at all. It's I'm not kind of pushing you into it and saying it'd be fine, and then you're going to be contacting me going my car's half pulled apart and I can't drive it, etc. Yeah, this is easy stuff.
Easy next step, put down on a towel. It's a case of undoing all of these, done a couple already. All these bolts, because obviously these are the ones holding in the factory unit. Nice and simple. Yes, just before I kind of fit it all into the dash, I thought I'd kind of run through all the different cables that come out the back of this, because it can be quite intimidating if you don't kind of know what you're doing. I reached out to Drimatt just so that I could confirm that, you know, there's no other cables I kind of wanted to run in the car while I'm doing it. And they, fair play to him, came back to me straight away and kind of explained what every single one is. This is why it's important, see, rather than buying stuff on like AliExpress where you've got kind of no comebacks or anything like that. This is what kind of that you want to, where you want to buy from, so you know any problems or any questions you've got, even if it's not a problem, it's it's a question of what does this do, should I be doing something with this, you've got it. So they kind of ran me through everything. This is your FM radio port that will go into the connection on the car, if you, like you pulled off of the factory one. You've got two antennas here. One's your GPS antenna, which I think is that one, sorry, and then you've got that one, which is your 4G antenna. This is only if you want to use the GPS or the antennas through the actual head unit, but most of the time you're going to be using Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, so you're not even going to need these really, but still put them in, and then obviously you can put these in a dashboard. You don't need to mount them to a window, and they're there if you need it. What that system runs off is this wire here, which is part of the harness. That's for putting in your own SIM card, so you can put your own SIM card in it rather than use the one on your phone. And then it's kind of self-sufficient, then you don't need a phone or anything like that. The next one coming along here is that's your rear backup cam, which is the included backup cam. So you link that one to the wires, and you've effectively got this is the backup cam. I plugged it in and tested it to make sure everything's working fine. You won't need this part of that cable. That's for cars if you want to link it to your rear reverse light. So some backup cam systems, you have to link it onto the reverse light to tell it to come on when you put it in reverse. You don't need to do that with this system. It's already, your system already tells you it's going in reverse, and you don't need that at all. So you can tuck that away. What you do need for the camera though is one of two things which you need to do on here, which is slightly different than just a plug and play. So what you need to do with this rear backup cam, obviously this is, you've got the video signal here, but it does need power. So what you need to do is link the cable from this cable here, the red power. You need to connect it to the one called ANT, which is antenna, which is normally used for like power antennas, which obviously your Maserati doesn't have. But this is what you have to link in. That's like a remote 12 volt. So what I've done there is I've basically given it a solder with a bit of shrink wrap on it. But you can use a clip, or you can tie them together, whatever you want. That's the connection that you kind of need to do. The only other connection you need to do for the Bose system is you need to connect amp cont and amp C. That's basically that's where your feed is for your power for your Bose amp. So they need to be connected as well. Again, I've soldered them with a bit of tape around it. Again, I would go and get these little clips you can get in kind of DIY stores and just plug them together like that if you're not good at soldering. It takes 2 minutes if you're doing it that way. Don't be intimidated by it at all. But that's the only two connections that you need to make, apart from just plugging everything in. So the plugs that you plug in is obviously for that one for the camera. I'm just kick that out of the way. And then you've got your what's that, aux in left and aux in right, so they go from one side of the antenna from the harness to the other. So that's already done. Then you've got a bunch of other ones which I'm not going to use. I don't think any of these. I might use the sub for a subwoofer. But you've got your video out if you wanted to put extra screens in or something like that. You've got audio out for the same purpose. You've got a mic if you want to put a mic in there to make hands-free calls. I'm not going to bother doing that. You've got a subwoofer out, which I'm going to link up to my aftermarket sub. But if you haven't got one of those, you don't need to, but I'm going to use that one. I think that's all those ones there. Oh no, there's that one there as well, which is for a front camera. If you want to put a front camera in, that's the port you're going to use. I'm not going to do that on mine. What else have I got? Yeah, video out, etc. I've gone through that. And that's it. I think that's sort of thing. There's two others which you won't use as well, which is key 1 and key 2. So I asked Drimatt what those are. Therefore, if you've got a steering wheel which hasn't got the buttons on it, but you don't need to use those at all, because obviously your Maserati comes with it, and that's the CAN bus there that communicates with the car. So that's kind of a kind of overview of everything that you've got as options to do it with. as I say, you've got these ones here as well. These are actually you don't need to use these. This is coming off the port for the rear backup camera. That's a Bluetooth antenna and that's a Wi-Fi antenna. So again, they're just for receiving the signals off your phone or whatnot. You don't need to extend those wires at all. But that's your options. That's your kind of full rundown of this type of unit with all the ports, etc. One more thing, that's where your USBs are going to go. It's got 2 USBs with this unit, so you got you can put in a hard drive, charge a phone, whatever you want. So they're going to go in glove box. But that's what it looks like, all fitted into the back of the dash. Nice and easy. It's a lot easier to fit than take the old one out. You know, you're talking a couple of screws down here for the aircon, and a few ones there. I only ever used one out of the pack, so that I use that pack, but all the rest of them are the original screws. And let me just show you what that looks like. Looks the business. I used the black one on there, but yeah, ready to fit.
Yes, and that's all installed. Took me about an hour. It's a really easy process, obviously just going backwards from the same process which I did before. I made sure all the leads were kind of tucked in behind. I turned it on as well. Once everything's connected, obviously turn it on, make sure everything works on it. You're getting sound through the stereo, everything like that. You can plug the backup cam in just to kind of see that even as you're holding it in your hand. Put it in reverse, make sure it all works. But yeah, it all went straightforward, really easy. Once you know how to do it, I mean, and you can look at it, it looks so good in here from what it looked like before. Let me just kind of turn it on. I'll do another video. Well, it'll probably be at the start of this video that I'll show you what's going on. But you've got the nice Maserati logo there. I don't know if you saw that. Turn that on. You get a nice Maserati logo on the thing, and on there you get the background as it is. When you first started up, you'll see another Maserati logo that comes up, and it's got all the kind of the nice boot up screen, etc. But yeah, that's what it looks like. I can't fault Drimatt. I thoroughly recommend that company, Drimatt. The link will be in my description where I got it from. They got a whole bunch of stuff in there. They've got clusters, they've got steering wheels, and speaking to them, they said they can get anything. So you can get all carbon fiber bits, things like that. They said that they're updating the website. When I asked what other kind of products they can offer, this comes included. Actually, when I was looking at my receipt, you get a silver one and a black one included with them. They're about 10% cheaper, 20% cheaper than the other companies that do it. There's a number of other kind of well-known names that people buy from, but they're cheaper than them. And the reviews that I saw, and especially my experience of kind of dealing with the masking, if they've got any problems, what kind of wires were, they were came back instant with it, which is why I'd recommend, again, why you want to use a company like that rather than kind of risking it on AliExpress and saving yourself like 30 quid and then realizing you got issues with it. But yeah, I'm over the moon with it. I'll give it a little play for a couple of days. The sound just alone, for I'm testing the sound, I won't put it on now because obviously you're only going to hear it through your speakers. Is you're not going to tell the quality, but the sound difference alone makes this mod worth it. Obviously they got a Bose sound system in here, but the head unit just doesn't do it justice. You can see my other videos. I've got another video where I put an aftermarket sub and amp in the boot to try and kind of make it louder and more bassy, which worked, but the sound quality is not there. I got a top-notch sound system in that Range Rover, and it's kind of a super premium one. Some guy who bought that Range Rover brand new, the sound on it, he must have paid almost £10,000. I think it was something stupid like £6,000, I think, when I saw the bill sheet on it. And the sound on it, after using that car in the winter and then coming back to here, it can't be matched with the old head unit. This one, immediately you sound the different. The sub starts working. This on the back shelf. You obviously got one on your back shelf in the middle. Yeah, it's night and day. So I thoroughly recommend it. And again, Drimatt is my recommendation where to get them from. Yeah. For the backup camera, what I've done, the backup wire comes out of there behind the unit. I tucked it all behind that trim. Tucked it underneath that cream trim there. It's really easy, all the way through to the back. It's literally just tucked up underneath here. You've got the 2 cables there. What I would do, I'm taking my rear seats out because I'm going to put the subwoofer wire directly to my aftermarket sub, but I'm guessing most of you won't have that. So what I personally would do with this backup wire, stick it down here, again tucked underneath this trim. I tuck it behind the seat at the side, and then I would go all the way to the back corner and then tuck it underneath this trim here, underneath the top bit along here. And what I'm doing, I'm mounting it here. So I can't find a single place underneath at the back of the car where it just won't look too obvious, and I don't want to ruin the lines of my car. But what I've done, you can see it there with a little bracket on, I'm going to attach it here. And looking at the screen, it looks actually perfect with that. I mean, it's not as good as mounting it on your bumper, but it's still really useful. It gives you a really good kind of perspective of it. But that's what I would do if I wasn't taking the back out. If you want to know how to do it even better and take these out, it's really easy. You pull this forward, there's a panel here, pull that forward and take this out just by getting a pair of pliers on this bit, and you kind of pull the pin. It's like a spring-loaded pin. You then do these 3 bolts, and then this whole thing comes forward, and you've got a little plug in here to put the sub cable through if you need anything to go into your boot. If you wanted to mount it, for instance, on your boot, if you want a kind of a really good picture on it, you can do it through there. There's a little plug. If you want to check my other videos out, there's got a full kind of detail of how I put a stereo in the boot for it, an aftermarket stereo, but that's the way you'd go through it through there. Yeah, hope that kind of helps. But I think it's going to look perfect there. You can't see it. It's got tinted rear glass, so you won't be able to see it at all, and it makes it good 80-90% of the functionality of putting it on your rear bumper. Just to kind of finish the video, I wanted to show you what it looks like in the night time. It looks great and it's sublime with the big screen and everything lit up. It looks even better in the night than it does in the day. You've obviously got dimness. You can turn it right down, turn it up, just down, and you like. And also, I mean, you can turn off the screen as well if it annoys you on nighttime motorways or whatever. It's got all that functionality, of course. If you like my videos, please give me a subscribe. I do these kind of videos for people like myself that kind of watch this stuff on YouTube and like to get involved doing stuff with cars. I got lots of videos on this Maserati, on my Ferrari, Jaguar, Range Rover. So every little subscribe helps. Likewise, if you want to shoot me a comment, I'll always reply to as many comments as I can. So if you've got questions with this, or any things that I do videos on, I'll always try and get back to you. But yeah, thank you all.